So I'd like to share with you guys, if you're going to be trying to get aerial footage, you might really consider the use of a 360-degree camera. The one that I bought is actually it's an Insta360 ONE X2. I think GoPro's got a 360-degree camera now. It's probably about as easy to use as this thing is. This thing is very easy to learn to use. The major advantage of it, if you're using it with aircraft and doing aerial footage, is that you're not having to operate a gimbal. This thing records in 360 degrees, actually in each direction all around. It records a sphere around the camera all at the same time. And so the only thing you really have to think about is where you want to put the camera at on the aircraft for its particular vantage point, because you do all of the with the video editing, you can literally, quote unquote, turn the camera in any direction, up, down, left, right. You can zoom in, zoom out. It'll make a constant turn depending on how you adjust the video editing, so that you don't really have to do anything other than mount the camera on the aircraft. Think about your vantage point, mount the camera on the aircraft, and go do the flight. And then all of the editing is where you can really make up a difference. So to give you guys an example here, I flew over the bridge a few times. Here's a bridge across the river, and also got a video of a barge going under the bridge. And just to give you an example of how easy this is to use a 360-degree camera. Alright, we'll see if we can get this boat going under the bridge. That'll be a cool video. So all of that footage was shot with the camera on a suction cup mount on the bottom of the aircraft. I put it that way so that I could get the aircraft out of the shot, and so it looked more like drone footage, so to speak. But you know, you can, if you want the aircraft in the shot for perspective, you can do that too. And so the next little short video that I'm going to show you starts off with a perspective of the aircraft within the shot, so you can tell that it's obviously being videoed from an aircraft. And if you wanted to get the aircraft out of the shot for, again, more of a drone position, then you can do that as well. In the next video that I'm going to show you, I've mounted the 360-degree camera up on the high on the mast of the aircraft, which gives a good vantage point for several different things. But what I did was I went up in the aircraft, I shut the engine down. This allows me to rotate, rotate the view of the camera around to look to show that I actually indeed did shut the engine down, and then rotate the aircraft, rotate the view of the camera back up to show perspective with the aircraft out in the foreground. So we'll take a look at that real quick, and then I'll be back. So I'm going to come all the way out of the power. Idle for about 10 seconds here.
Cape Tower, Airport 8 on the west side of runway 2. I'd like to head back to the rim.
Shut the engine off. Okay, so we're going about 40 knots. And notice if I press the left pedal, I got good left pedal authority.
Airport 8, hold short, standby. Hold short, Airport 8.
We'll bring the nose up to almost zero airspeed. Now when I press the rudder, I'm getting almost nothing. So I got to let my nose come down a little bit to get some more authority. Okay, so we've got a lot of different options.
7 Charlie, set position.
We're up, we're about 1,000, technically 1,300 over the numbers, runway 2 for emergency landing, or practice emergency landing. Trim my stick so it's not quite so heavy. So again, about a vertical descent, I'm slowed down to about 10 knots here. I'll lower my nose a little bit and get a little more airspeed. I can get a little better rudder authority, but I would just keep coming down at about 20 knots. And you can see I can do an S-turn, turn to the right. Turn back to the left. Whatever it takes to get down to where I need to be. So I definitely got my runway made, so I've got altitude to get rid of. That's the situation you want to be in if the aircraft actually quits on you. You want to have altitude to get rid of, not the other way around. Hard to stretch it out and get to your spot. Hate to run out of altitude and lock all at the same time. Now as we get lower, we're going to start letting our speed come up a little bit. So I'm going to let the airspeed come up to about 40 here, because it's a lot easier to accelerate from, say, 35 or 40 to get 65. I'm going to get a little close. Let's do a little bit of a turn to the right. So it's easier to get back from, say, 40 to 65. You can do that pretty quickly. Going from 0 to 65 takes a long, long time. So now we're going to let our nose start coming down a little bit. All right, going to let my nose come down, try to get my speed back.
Cape Tower, 0276 Charlie Papa, 10 miles south, inbound Cape Tower.
So again, the use of a 360-degree camera is a big advantage. It's almost like having multiple cameras on board the aircraft. And again, this could be used in a lot of different types of motorsports videos. You have the advantage of just figuring out which vantage point you want, and the rest is all done with editing. So if you haven't done so yet, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in another video soon.